We're back. Thank you to BetterHelp. Link will be in the description. Go check them out. Come on, name and a number.
1846, Andrew Schulz. Return of the King.
Return of the Mac.
After Tom Papa. Oh, Simon called it, obviously.
Yes, Simon called it. Praise Simon.
Ooh,
Praise be Simon.
Feels good.
Praise be.
Yeah, I know why people want to be in cults now, or leaders of cults now. I get it.
I mean, I don't think either of us is going to suck your dick, but that doesn't mean you're not a step away from it. That's true.
It was interesting. He had the same idea about a council, unrelated, to run everything. He just wanted to get voting out of it so people don't have to hate each other. We need bad guys to do stuff. Agree with that?
We need bad guys to do bad stuff.
Yeah, sometimes they have to do bad stuff. Or is that a lie that we've been telling ourselves?
No, we need those people. But Joe acts like those people are like disappearing. The U.S. is full of them. Full of hard men.
Hard men. Yeah. Yeah. But do we need them?
Yeah, of course.
Or is it because we have them, we're in a worse place?
Well, how could we be in a worse place?
We can't be. We are where we are.
Yeah.
But I thought when they mentioned, because they were talking about Israel has to be super vigilant. Like we live in a bubble of safety here.
Yeah.
There's other places that don't. Mandatory military service. Because remember a couple weeks ago I was talking about the government should give everyone a home loan.
Yeah.
Everyone serves 2 years and you get your home loan.
I saw something interesting.
Boom. And everyone takes going abroad. Seriously, military could be used to fix stuff domestically, fight fires, whatever it is, floods, you know? And we all just do it. I think that makes the most sense.
I saw something interesting the other day. Holland. The bank will give you 130% mortgage. So everyone can own a home. You don't need any skin in the game. You don't need a down payment. And they will lend you money on top of that, which is very interesting.
So the banks, are the government making the banks do that, or they just love their people?
I don't know. I didn't look into it deeper. I just saw it because they have like the highest wealth inequality of any country in the world, but it's due to the fact that like you can write off your mortgage. So if you make $100,000 a year, but you have to pay 60 of it to your mortgage, you write that off. So like you're in like the lowest tax bracket. I don't know. It's weird.
That's like the ultimate removal of your freedom, though. You realize that
Because
right?
the bank eventually owns all the houses?
No. Making you go into the military. The thing that you just thought was such a great idea is the thing you've been fighting against
Loss
for
of
3
freedom.
years now.
Well, but I mean, you're helping your country, you're contributing, and you're getting something for it in the end.
The point, Simon, would be if every single man and woman had to do like 3 years mandatory military service, you can at least guarantee that the politicians won't be so quick to go to war or to send people overseas because it'll be their people too. There's no way around that.
I think that's the biggest idea of it.
Right? Like if every politician knows that their children are enlisted, that everyone's enlisted.
I mean, and that's how it is in Israel.
That's not why they're doing that in Israel.
South Korea too.
South Korea too.
They have to do that.
And
They
South
need
Korea,
people in their
they're afraid
military.
of North Korea. They should take over North
They
Korea.
have enemies on every single side of them. It's not quite the same thing, you know?
They talked about our basketball player. Okay. Well, no.
Yeah.
I understand they're not doing it just for the betterment of the country. I don't mean to be dismissive of that. And I understand what you're saying. That's a loss of freedom if you do it. But I think it's the best way to like bring everyone together. If everyone has to do this one thing, and it's for the better good. Here it's not as they need an army. We don't need an army, but we have one.
I mean, we don't need, but that's just the point, right? Is we don't need armies. This idea of making everybody go into the military seems like
It's a way to give them the money for the down payment of the house. What else do we do to earn that or whatever?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could do some sort of community service, but then that's starting to sound like a social credit something or other, right? So you won't like that either.
Mar,
guess
you're also
we'll stick with
forgetting
what we got.
You're also forgetting that it's not like the government still has to come up with that money to pay for your home.
well, we know they just come up with money.
Well, you
Yeah,
just
but I'm
say
just saying-
I'm further in debt. The country just says we're further in debt. Everything goes the same.
That's
Nothing
the
changes.
that's the
you
easy,
know?
that's the easy
Well,
part.
I'm just saying though, like I'm just saying the point
That's
being,
the easy part.
if 30 million people, cut it in half, I guess, if you assume that every home has 2 people in it, if 30 million people are given like $50,000 by the government for a couple, I mean, I get it.
But it's not 30 million people because half those people are children.
I just said 15 million.
And some of them are
half the-
married,
and
and
half
they're
of
Well, I
only
just said
getting one
15
house.
million. Yeah, but either way, it's still a lot of fucking. I mean, again, if you're giving service, then I guess. But do you get paid for that service as
It's
well?
like CERB payments.
Room and
Where the
board
fuck did
and,
all that money
bonus.
come from? It's the same exact thing.
Well, they're taking it back now, so it's obviously came from somewhere.
And theoretically, if everybody was able to own their own house like that, you know,
Would inflation be through the roof? It'd
then
be the worst
everybody would have more money on hand, and that money would go back into the
Yeah,
economy.
listen, I'm all for
theoretically,
everyone owning
but the
a home.
problem is that money would just go back into Amazon, and we're lost anyways. So you have a house, but we're ruled by robots. So,
They were talking about the Russian girl who's in jail, and Joe made the great point, like, yeah, it's crazy fighting that she's in jail, but there's people here in jail and it's legalized.
Yeah.
It's the one sort of like, so you legalize it, but because those people have to stay in jail, like it's just madness.
I
that
totally.
the case he spoke about where his buddy was growing medical marijuana but couldn't mention it at his trial. That is the most obscene.
I think that was actually in the other one where it's like you pay with a credit card. You can pay with a credit card.
Yeah.
But they couldn't mention that was medical marijuana. Yeah, that was the other one. But still, the point remains: we've legalized weed. I guess because it's federal in the states. Even if they legalize it federally, I don't think everyone just walks out of jail. But here in Canada, there should be some sort of amnesty or something.
Well, the argument is that you still broke the law knowingly. Correct?
And I don't think there are tons of people here in jail for like smoking weed the same way you were smoking weed in the States. They were probably dealing weed, which, like Matt said, at the time was illegal. Like, just because you don't have to, I don't know. I'll give you a bad example. It doesn't matter.
I mean, listen, Kamar, I agree. If you had a long sentence for a non-violent marijuana offense, like you were caught with, 100 pounds, I think once it becomes legal, there's a good argument for cutting the sentence down severely.
Yeah, you've served your time now.
I'm good for
They're
that.
done.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, but the argument is still you
So
knowingly
open the doors is not gonna fly.
broke the law, and that's not really how the law works. That
No, if everyone wants to ignore the laws they want to ignore, then people are going to ignore murder. They're going to ignore rape.
now
They're
at the
gonna-
same time though, we ignored those laws. Like we smoked weed when you know what I mean. We were knowingly breaking the law.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't deal weed.
I get it.
so-
I'm just saying there's levels to it.
There
like,
are levels to it, meaning that if I got caught smoking weed, I knew what basically the maximum offense
I
was.
get it.
You get caught dealing over 30 grams or whatever, and you can go to jail,
And then we know Simon hasn't brought it up yet, but if you're caught with 50 pounds, there's a good chance you weren't paying taxes on that.
And if you have 50 pounds of marijuana, you have other stuff.
That's why I'm against
That's
it.
why that's your biggest issue.
No, I have no problem with black market dealers not paying taxes, Matt. I have a problem with gray market dealers
Gotcha,
not paying
gotcha.
taxes.
They got into Woody Allen and then got into
hold on.
Well, don't just skip over Woody Allen.
I'm so glad. Okay, I want to say this right off the jump. I don't know what's going on, but Joe's wild defense of Elon is getting.
Oh, he was about to get there, right? That was what you were going-
procreation,
yeah.
making more people.
Thank you. Okay.
Because that is the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. This motherfucker is a sex addict, 1,000,000%. He fucks everything he sees.
Yeah, his
it has
pasty ass is out- yeah.
nothing to do with procreation. He's a sex addict who doesn't like condoms.
But it's
period.
It's the best cover up ever.
And for Joe to literally like, dude, you're a comedian. Just A, have fun with it, and B, like, I don't know. It's just so
First
fucking
of all,
weird.
it's fucking hilarious.
It's so funny. And his pasty ass on the boat, he looks like he he hasn't seen
the whole
sun in
boat
10 years.
thing with that. Did I show you that mock-up? Oh my god, this is seriously, this might be the funniest thing I've ever seen on the internet, Matt.
Fine,
Have
show it
you-
to me. No, either way, my point remains that, like, and I wouldn't buy Tesla if I were you. It's wildly overvalued right now at $750 a share. I still think you should short it. This is not financial advice. I am not a
Come on.
That's a
Come
torso.
on.
That's
torso.
hilarious. Yeah.
That is what Elon is, man. Joe knows this. and he just won't give up the ghost, you know?
Well, it's just weird when he's like, no, I really think you need to talk to Elon about his views on.
Fuck you.
But I love Schulz being like, yeah, sure, dude, I'll talk to him. Like, what? He's single-handedly gonna do this? Like, get
He
the fuck out
couldn't
of
go
here.
against the king.
It's so weird.
But he, unless he was totally joking, he was saying that's what your diabolical genius is still in the factory, not out and about like Jeff Bezos, and that's why he's so white and pasty.
No, he's white and pasty because he's from another planet.
And he's just been fucking procreating, making aliens.
The same way the Anunnaki came down and bred with our women. You know what I mean? This is a tale as old as time. Aliens like human women.
Well, if it's all consensual and they're all surrogates, then maybe he is doing that.
Dude, I saw somebody talking about it saying like, why is like, you know, he's Elon. Don't let these pictures go out. You know what I mean? You don't need to have your picture taken showing your weird fucking inflated upper torso.
Well, in his defense, he's on a boat. Like, I guess
but
obviously
they
he
were like,
knows.
no, man, he released those photos. He was trying to take the heat away from his fucking creepy pedophile father. And this was the best way to do it. They were like, Elon, this isn't my joke, by the way. This is what the guy was saying. He was like, Elon, you know, your dad, big press, bad press up there. Anything you can do? He's like, oh, there's something I can do. Takes his shirt off and everybody forgets, you know?
I didn't.
That'd be 5D chess.
Dude, he's crazy looking. Somebody described him as a deep breath, and that is the fucking funniest thing I've ever heard. Like this, Matt.
Yeah.
If you just held in a deep breath. Like, he is so weird looking, man. What is wrong with him?
I don't know. He still slays pussy, though. Guy's out there. He is out there.
But he's not slaying like quality pussy. Do you see the women he's knocking up?
Doesn't, dude, it's Tiger Woods. It's about numbers.
First
Some
of
people
all,
are.
Or
they
it's
all
about procreating.
they all
Listen,
have twins. Have you
Kamar-
fucking noticed?
It doesn't matter. Kamar will tell you there's
Doesn't
numbers,
matter.
there's numbers guys, and there's quality guys.
Most guys are numbers guys.
No, but by that logic, Joe's right. He's not out there slinging dick. He's out there making as many fucking babies as possible.
It's possible. That's possible.
Either way, it's so fucked up. And the fact that Joe thinks like this is his good idea, this sounds like crazy
It'd be
eugenics to me.
but it'd be fucked up
You want to procreate as much as you can
much.
because you're the perfect specimen of humanity. Fuck you. We don't need more Elons in this world. We need less Elons
So he
in this
should,
world.
and if what he says is true, he should adopt, but he still needs more people.
He should adopt. He shouldn't be a dad.
Yeah.
Do you think he's paying any attention to his kids? Like, apparently he's sleeping in the factory.
But he also cites, and he's always been citing population collapse, which could happen, and then we all be like, oh shit, we should.
Yeah, he's like, population collapse. I can't wait until that happens and I can release all my seeds.
Even then, there's a lot of people that have been saying population collapse for a long time. Do you truly believe that even though this guy's saying it, that he thinks he's going to make a difference by...
No, obviously not. But maybe
He's
he
full
just
of
wants
shit.
his crew to.
You know
Mars.
who else's dad was super into population collapse? Bill Gates.
Oh, here we go.
But
Buckle
they
up.
want,
No, I'm just
He
saying.
wants the population collapse. He wasn't worried about it.
So does Elon.
No, he what he says is he doesn't want it to happen.
Elon obviously wants only more Elons in this world. He's not concerned with other people's babies. He's concerned with procreating so he can recreate himself. Now that I think about it, I'm surprised his main focus hasn't been cloning.
How do
Maybe
you know it hasn't?
he's working on that.
You know what? Everything else he announces, it's bullshit. The cloning, the stuff he doesn't talk about. Listen, Elon, let's just put it this way. Like, Elon's father, this guy who just had sex with his daughter there, you know that guy? He is a emerald mine owner.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about being the richest, most elite class in South Africa, possibly the world. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about this guy, not with a silver spoon in his mouth, with a literal emerald spoon in his mouth. I doubt he's even smart. I'm being serious here. I don't even think he's that smart. I think he literally has just bought up all these really good. He is the master pump up guy. You know what I mean? And I don't mean his upper chest. I mean, like,
But aren't they all like even Steve Jobs, maybe Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, sure. But Steve Jobs, I never thought was like writing the code for Apple. Do you know what I mean? He was just a guy who had good ideas.
Jeff
Elon
Bezos has to be
is
smart.
supposed to be like a fucking off the charts genius, but I don't know. According to who? Joe Rogan? Like, I'm not sure. He does a good job at perpetuating the myth. I'm being totally serious here, man. Like, what do we really know about Elon? What do we know about how fucking smart he is? Do we know if we know he bought Tesla? He didn't come up with that technology. Everybody
Well, hold on. We don't know about
praises
the
him like he
technology.
did.
Hold on. He bought the company. We don't know anything about the technology.
No, you're right. We don't, Matt, but we don't know if he did create it.
Well, I can be almost certain that he didn't single-handedly create it. I mean, there's a team of engineers, obviously, really smart people that work there, right? It's not. Am I wrong?
I don't know. Like, I don't believe personally that
Okay.
Elon is like building rocket ships. I don't believe that that's like he's
Well, they
like
are
going
building
in
rockets.
there. They are.
Yeah.
SpaceX for sure has contracts with the government to build
Yes,
rocket ships
I'm
for
saying
sure.
this, yeah.
That doesn't mean Elon is a rocket ship builder. Doesn't mean that he knows anything about rocket ships, frankly.
Okay.
No, on the Elon.
Well,
But
just whatever. Man.
say say there is a problem with people not procreating because Joe brought up the idiocracy example or whatever. The observation that cities make people not want to procreate because they're like, there's so many people. Whereas if you lived out there, you're like, well, we could have a little rascal running around.
Well, and usually if you live out in the country, let's say, you need the help.
Mm-hmm.
So that was part of having kids too, right? Was they were
Yeah, you
going to
needed
run
all
your
the hands you could
farms, you were
fucking
gonna.
There's too many single people. They're the problem. Like he made the point that like if you're a parent, the raising the child and everything becomes paramount to everything. And there's too many people who aren't having kids that can worry about what's on Twitter, what's on the news or whatever. Because when it comes down to if you have a kid, that's your thing, and you start to block out the noise a bit.
Well, and it used to be part of the narrative. Having kids. That's what you did. The same
if
way
you-
you went to
If
university when you were
didn't,
done high
There's
school.
something strange with you.
And now that just simply isn't the case anymore. So of course you're going to have less people, but like I agree with the city thing.
But you don't agree that we have too many people or not enough people, and that's a problem.
No, but we don't have too many people. We have too many people living in
Yes.
all in
Close
the same
proximity
place.
that make everything hot.
But we have tons of space. We just, because humans want to, be cool. I guess that's what drives us is to be cool. We always want to go to the places where the most humans are.
Did you guys remember the Post Malone being super interesting?
I remember it being like a total train wreck, I thought.
They were on mushrooms.
Yeah.
Andrew's talking about he doesn't like smoking weed. He doesn't like doing mushrooms. Like he likes to drink.
But Andrew has been getting really fucked up during his podcast ever since they moved to the new studio.
And he says that he thinks it's a good thing.
I think it's funny. They have great whatevers, but I've seen him smoking weed. He's been drinking a lot.
Well, that's a rare occasion. Like he doesn't smoke weed all the time, but he does drink all the time.
I've seen a couple of times when they smoked weed.
All this and they talked about
Like
how
it's a big deal. Fuck.
Joe said how Post Malone was drinking to cope with fame. He said Dave does it as well. Like super famous people are always drinking. Like it's not the different existence of your responsibility level, especially if your thing is either performing on stage. Well, both are performing on stage, but you know what I mean. You don't ever have to operate machinery or do anything, and you can function like that.
I can't. That to me is like $1 billion. You know what I mean? Your brain just can't. I can't imagine being famous like that, where you're the guy that everybody's going to watch, and every night you got to be like on.
And you still feel like I'm just a normal person.
Well, I don't think people feel like that. But
I think you have to because you are.
Well, it's funny. I had dinner with my uncle the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I was golfing with this guy. They had like a foursome, and he's like, this guy didn't say fucking 10 words the whole 18, and then they go have lunch, and the guy's just quietly like the guy gets up and he goes and sits at the bar and has a drink, and one of the guys in the foursome is telling my uncle, he's like, yeah, that guy he used to own 3 steel mills in Pittsburgh, and he sold them for $2.1 billion. That's the guy you want to be. No one knows who the fuck you are.
Yes.
No one has any idea who you are. You're just another faceless guy in the crowd, but you have fuck you money for.
oh, well, that's kind of what I was saying. Is I have no problem being rich, but I don't. The idea of being famous,
Yeah, it's gross.
is-
And there's a misguided
Insane.
notion for people to try to be famous because they assume that wealth comes with it.
You know what though? I truly believe that I truly believe there's a lot of famous people that like lean into it and have this reluctant. Like Kanye is one of those people who it's like, oh, the paparazzi. Like, I think there are a lot of famous people that do a good job of just laying low, and they're not in the spotlight, and they grow serious facial hair. You wouldn't really recognize them so much, like out and about. And then there's others that are like Gucci'd the fuck out all the time, have like an entourage.
Calling the paparazzi.
This is what I'm
letting them
saying.
know
Yeah,
where
like
they're at.
I think
That's
this.
an addiction. Of
Well,
sorts.
that's what happens, I think, is like, let's say you're the Kardashians. At the beginning of their careers, that's what they're doing. They're calling up the paparazzi all the time. They're in relationships with them. They're famous for being famous, right?
Yeah.
And then as you go on, then you actually become famous, and then you hate the paparazzi, right? It's a real fine
Be careful
line.
what you wish for.
I was reading today, you know what? Post, Joe?
Right down. So
Down.
So-
Jamie.
No, I'm not writing shit.
what
down.
we've covered so far is 38 minutes because the first thing Joe asked him is tell me about this special. And it's almost like they were jazz. Like they couldn't just get into it. They
Yeah.
had to talk about this stuff, even the transgender, the identified crowd,
Transgender.
Andrew trying to pontificate why he thinks Joe sort of said, I don't know if that's it. But he finally addressed a special that he sold it to. I guess we're assuming it's Netflix.
It wasn't Netflix.
It wasn't because he would have said it, or
No, I just don't think it was Netflix. I think
have
I've
to assume it
heard
was
somewhere
Netflix.
that
He's
he
done
said
everything
it
with
wasn't
Netflix.
Netflix.
Where would you think? Okay, where else would it be?
Prime
No way.
or
Green.
what's
Disney?
another one? Disney?
Nope.
No, you're right. I don't know.
It was
I don't
Netflix.
know.
It just
Netflix
feels a
is
lot like Netflix.
Oh yeah, they had a problem with Dave. It was Netflix. You're right.
HBO?
It was Netflix. No, he's right. It's Netflix. It makes total sense. They were because he said after Dave and the trans stuff, he was like, no, that totally makes sense. I get it. I think it was weird that he was doing a Netflix special. Anyways, he's always been totally anti-Netflix. Why would he possibly need to do that special?
I think it's weirder. $20. I'm not gonna lie. In this day and age, $20 seems expensive.
That's how much it was?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 15. Not that that makes a huge difference.
I think 10 is listen, if you want to go that route, I think 10 is like, okay, fine. But I don't know, man.
Clearly, none of us bought it.
No.
Well, here's my problem, man. I like Andrew Schulz. I really want to see the special, but I'm cheap.
That's always a problem.
And the last time he put it out for free. How come do I have to pay this time?
Well, this is my thing is it's like, dude, we get that you're independent, but like all comedians are independent and they all put their specials out for free and then they tour. The special is the advertisement for you touring or your podcast or whatever your bread and butter is. This is a free advertisement.
Yeah.
Not even free anymore because now Netflix is paying you guys.
Yeah, but I want to support Andrew Schulz, so maybe I'll buy it.
That's fine. My point is simply like I still believe that these guys, and like maybe it's me being archaic. Like take Louis for example, arguably one of the best to ever do it. When he did that route, I think he did $5 minimum.
Yes. The first time he did it was $5.
You know what should have happened? This would have been amazing.
And he sold $1 million and made $5 million.
But hear me out. Like a $5.
It's great. I would have bought that for sure.
$5 is a number that no one can say no to if you're a
Inflation.
fan.
Inflation.
But
Maybe he wasn't totally sure about himself.
This is what Schulz should have done. No, the problem was he had to buy his special back from Netflix. So it cost him $1 million to buy his special back from Netflix. So he has to make that $1 million back. I get that. So everybody who buys a ticket, you pay whatever it was, $20, fine. $20. But the second he hits $1 million, everybody starts making money back. You hear what I'm saying?
I see what you're
like an
saying.
NFT?
Like an NFT.
You're gonna lose so much money in transactions.
If there was some way to not lose money in transactions,
Gas fees.
that would be incredible. And I'm okay too if you are one of those people, you know what I mean? Schulz can be one of those people making money too. But like that would be incredible. I love that.
A buyback system.
And that's where the NFTs totally make sense for something like this, what Andrew Schulz was doing here.
I just said it though. The gas fees are just like astronomical.
I know, but this is the problem with NFTs, Matt. That's why nobody can do anything really, because moving the money around is like ridiculous. But if it was a system that was easy, traceable and easy, where people could make their money back, I think it's great. As the is just like that makes sense.
Either way, I go back to it. I still think I know you lost $1 million. You'll recoup it. You're successful. You're making the right moves. So I don't know. That to me, that's the move. Or like I said, you do what Louis did and just say, listen, you can donate what you want. It's minimum $5. $5 everyone can afford.
Oh no, I love that because I don't know how my whole problem with this, and I don't want to talk bad about Schulz at all because I love him. I think he's fucking hilarious. But the bragging about how much money you made, don't love that.
Yeah, it's
I think
that's
you're
not a color
you're
that
fucked
looks
if
good on
you're
most
fucked
people.
If you do, you're fucked if you don't. It's just be honest.
No, you just say but I did well. I did well.
no,
We know you're doing well.
we
We
did
saw, we
well,
see your
guys.
studio.
We'll see if that backfires on him.
No, because he was saying people were asking him
Yeah.
how much you made. So
Well,
he
those
felt
people
like he had
shouldn't
to
be
say,
asking
well,
that, yeah.
I mean, that's the internet for you, Matt.
Everyone thinks they own a piece of you. Bruce Buffer, the greatest announcer, except for his brother.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Like, it's so crazy how the announcer because he announced his special.
What does his brother do? He's the guy who says, "Let's get ready to rumble,"
Yeah.
and this guy says, "Let's get."
It's time.
So that is crazy that they didn't even mention his brother in the same breath. I mean, who is the best?
I mean, his brother's like the OG.
But just the fact that how many fights have you seen? It's been Bruce Buffer now, and it's such a hype man. It's not just like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to we have in this corner, have a great night. He gets so excited. It will be weird if he retires or passes on. Who takes up that torch? Like there's only one guy in the world that does it. I've been to amateur stuff and seen guys try to do it, but apparently, if you say, "Let's get ready to rumble," and it maybe you can get fined. Like he has a copyright,
trademark,
something like that. And he probably has it on It's Time. The other thing he gave credit to was Russ. Do you know who Russ is? He's a rapper.
No.
But he's saying Russ put out a song a week for a year and made millions of dollars. So he turned around, put a clip out a week for a year. Which I think is anyone who's a stand-up, I should even do it. Like that's not unreasonable, and just do that as a personal challenge.
So you know Davey, male nurse,
Davey Male Nurse.
Ottawa
this a
musician.
famous person?
No, he's from Ottawa. He's a musician. Davey, male nurse. That's his. He did that too. He wrote and recorded a song a day for I think 2 years.
Whoa, that's really high output. I'm talking about 30 seconds.
Some of those songs must have been terrible.
Oh, for sure. He said it. He's like, listen, most of it's garbage, but it was the same thing, just an exercise in.
Did he have some success from it?
Well, I mean, Davey's a good musician. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like
you know.
you would catch lightning in a bottle at some point, you know?
Right. Unlimited monkeys on typewriters, right?
It feels like Andrew going on the first time and say Netflix is dead, all this stuff is dead. Talked the industry into changing, but by saying it and doing it.
Yeah, but then went back to Netflix and had to buy a special back.
That's
Like it's
the
a
part
weird.
I don't
Because
understand.
we're sitting on couches here, okay?
Oh,
they're
yeah,
sitting in a studio.
I understand.
There's
I'm just
words,
saying.
there's factors that we don't know about.
No, but was he just doing it for the clout? Like to say I had a special on Netflix?
I'm assuming someone says, I'll give you $1 million to do something. Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
I will do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I got you.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
And then he found out what went wrong. And
Yeah.
so it's a bit of a gamble, but I think
Yeah, but that's my point. You hit the nail on the head right there. Is that he said all along, I don't want anyone to say no, you can't put this in there. I don't want to have anyone have control. And then someone says, we'll give you $1 million, and he goes, done deal. And the exact thing that he said was going to
he
happen.
didn't even believe it himself.
And he changed the industry. Like he invented DVDs, but then bought a VHS player. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, again, we don't know what we don't know. I'm assuming because he did do that clip thing for Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, right.
In the height of the pandemic, this is probably some 2-thing deal or something. So
interesting.
maybe it signed his soul there. And I mean, we don't know what we don't know.
It's true. Listen, I'm not hating on Schulz. I'm just saying it. In my mind, it was so weird when I heard he had to buy his special back from an undisclosed streaming service. I was like, well, seems odd.
Love those Pelosi titties. He can't help himself with those can of mamma jammas. You've seen the clip, obviously.
I haven't.
There's a problem.
Can I see the clip? What is the clip?
It's just a photograph of her walking with some giant love bags.
Sweater kittens.
There's a problem. We need to know because it was they went to show Harvey Weinstein's dick. Like he shows some stuff, and I don't want to see it either. But we can't show that. Like we're not on YouTube.
Did you hear Jamie?
Yes,
he was like, I'm shaking.
Well, okay, maybe like, is he protecting us, or is
I
there?
think it's because there's no
fear?
age restriction.
Is there a deal? I just want to know the reason.
Is that the picture?
You got it. Those mama jammas, baby.
She's like a grandma. It's
Kamar doesn't care. He's definitely whacked it to
fucking
those.
weird.
Worth $500
Kamar's
million.
jerking his dick like,
Oh,
buy my
yeah.
stocks. Buy my stocks.
Dude, her upper body is all boob. Like, you know what I mean? It's just all boob. She's like Elon, but just all boobs.
It's just amazing.
Well, I don't know. She's very old. Kamar.
I'd like to see her in a granny porn or something.
Kamar's like, she's super rich.
It's
She's
tough
got
to get
huge
someone worth
boobs.
$500 million to do a granny porn. Maybe she retires and opens an OnlyFans.
What if she found out that she can make way more on her OnlyFans, or she gets caught for
She's
insider trading
already
down the
made
road?
so much
We've already
money.
discussed both sides do it, so they're not.
The
really
only way you're gonna see Pelosi OnlyFans is if she ends up in jail, and she'll do it from her prison cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even hotter.
Yeah.
With a transgender prisoner.
Yeah, that's
got
even
it there.
hotter.
That's up to you, man.
They talked more about the Hillary body count.
What were you talking? Sorry, just 1 second. What were you talking about right before Pelosi?
The industry changing,
Yeah,
Netflix,
that's
money.
It. He jumped right into Pelosi.
You jumped
after
right
that.
into Pelosi, eh? Okay.
Then there was an observation, then they brought it up. And then he said about the person who is guilty will sleep, whereas the innocent person will be restless.
Well, that's the old thing from The Usual Suspects.
That's what he did
And
credit to.
the cops
here
do
we
it
go.
all the time. In just 1 second, Matt. The cops do it all the time where they leave a person in a not a waiting room,
Interrogation.
room and watch what they do. You know what I mean? And if somebody just goes right to sleep, they're like, that guy's innocent, and or guilty or whatever. I don't know.
But that's not evidence.
No, it's not.
He thought he fell asleep. I rest
Yeah,
my
Your
case.
Honor, we had him in the interrogation room for 4 hours. He passed out. He's clearly guilty. I don't even think we need
as
a
we
trial.
said before, that's a good practice of don't say shit.
Yeah, go to sleep.
They use that all the time. Like, I don't know, there was, who was that lady? Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. Hit your button.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game. That's right, motherfuckers. We're having a twofer. 2 guests, 2 movie games. That's how we roll. He brought up Usual Suspects. I could have sworn it wasn't in there, but I guess it was. Not to be done without some controversy. The movie we're doing is The Usual Suspects. It was made by Bryan Singer, who's a hot water. I believe he's been canceled as we move forward, but he may be too talented. Matt's trying to see if we've done it before. Starring Stephen Baldwin, Gabriel Byrne, Chaz Palminteri, Kevin Pollak, Pete Postlethwaite, Kevin Spacey, Sue Amos, Benicio del Toro, Giancarlo Esposito. You know, there's a scene where they're all laughing so hard.
Yeah, do you know the story behind that scene?
Apparently, Benicio del Toro
Was
let
farting.
the worst fart, and they couldn't help themselves.
The other part of it that's funny too, though, Kamar, is that was the first scene they filmed, and no one at all the table reads, Benicio del Toro had just come in and just read the part like deadpan.
He hadn't tried the character yet.
He had not done a single Fenster line yet, so that was the first time any of them heard him like.
Oh, he's decided to make this choice?
That's like, give me the keys, you cocksucker. What the fuck? That scene is one of my favorite movie scenes of all time.
That's brilliant. That's probably why everything seems so believable, because nobody knew what the fuck Benicio del Toro was
Exactly.
saying.
And as an actor, you have to be like, okay, that's how it. Let's go with this.
Yeah, that is a great scene. There are a bunch of great.
It's a
scenes
masterclass in
that movie.
acting.
Like when you think about it, Matt,
Yeah.
when he's limping and then walks. Sorry, spoiler alert. That is one of the greatest moments in Hollywood history.
If you haven't seen the movie, it's one of
that
the greatest reveals
fucking-
ever. Yeah.
But just that scene, they're showing his feet. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking brilliant.
Spacey won the Oscar for that.
Fuck Spacey.
probably one of, like, if you've never seen it, we just ruined it, but it's probably one of the
Who hasn't
greatest.
seen
No,
that?
I don't think you
This
ruined
is
it.
crazy.
Unless you zoom in. What did they just say?
It's crazy. And you know who's even good in that? Baldwin. And that's saying a fucking lot.
That is saying a lot.
That's saying
One
a
of the
lot.
best, I'm telling you, one of the best moments in movie history is Benicio, is when they're showing all of them getting arrested, being brought in for interrogation. Benicio del Toro is walking down the street, pretty much dressed like a pimp, and he turns the corner and and he disappears off camera for like a split second, and then he just doubles back, and you see him
But he's in
walking
double
look,
speed. He's
yeah,
in
yeah,
double
he's at
speed.
double speed. And he's looking around, all like, "Huh, what?" And then they pull up. It's honestly one of my
It's
favorite.
the greatest thing ever.
I still say to this day, I'm like, I did the Fenster. Whenever I do like a quick U-turn, it's the Fenster. I fucking love that movie. It's
And you
so
know what's
good.
also great about that movie?
And Kevin Pollak is incredible in that movie.
Everybody's great.
Yeah,
in it, but
you're right.
because the ending is so impactful,
Yeah.
you don't watch it very often because, you know, it's
'Cause it's
already ruined. But that actually makes it better because then when you do watch
Well, then you
it,
can spot
it's-
things again. Like,
No, but you mind fuck yourself because does Kobayashi exist? Well, I don't care. Do you know?
well, that's the biggest.
No.
That's the biggest mind fuck. Is like this guy just made up this whole tale, right? And that's kind of the fucking. That's one of the things that you hate about the movie is like you're like,
It was all a
I
dream.
just listened to a tall tale from
Yeah,
a liar and a criminal mastermind.
But
You know
they
what I mean?
played it all out.
Yeah.
No, but to Kamar's point, it doesn't mean that a lot of that wasn't autobiographical.
Sure.
You know?
But everything
the
about that
names.
movie, like the original score, that like it.
Dun-dun, dun-dun.
Yeah, like the New
It's
York's
sort of-
finest
that was-
taxi
That
service
was
scene.
sort of stolen from
Everything about that movie
Untouchables.
great.
Untouchables.
Having a team of bad guys, like, you know, as good guys, it's they
Such a
hadn't
good
been
movie.
Ocean's 11 yet. There hadn't been anything like that. This was like the Hateful Eight, or no, not Hateful Eight, which was also a great movie. But
It won an Academy Award for Best Screenplay.
anyways,
It's such a good fucking movie.
What year do you guys think it came out?
Oh yeah.
here we go. Hold on.
I'm ready with a year.
Hold on.
I'm gonna be 1 year off. I can guarantee. Fuck. Oh no, you know what?
What movie are we doing?
The Usual Suspects.
yeah,
Holy
Usual
fuck, are you all right?
No.
No, I'm gonna change this. I have to change this. Last minute change. We'll see if it bites me in the ass. We'll see if it bites me in the ass. Last minute change from the old Floydster.
As if you could get two in a row. The probability. Two in a row on the same day.
Probabilities are not that crazy. We usually do movies from the last 30 years.
Okay, I'm ready.
I have 94.
I have 1992.
1995.
I had 92 written down originally.
I thought I was 16 when I saw this movie, but I was apparently 20.
Fuck, so I was 1 year off. Dirty bastard. Okay, there is a shit ton of people in this movie.
That's good math.
But a lot of them, it's their like
But
first movie.
I'll say
No,
this.
Gabriel Byrne was in a lot of shit.
The Crying Game.
It made them. It was
Crying
like
Game
the
what?
Pulp Fiction.
Gabriel Byrne was in The
of,
Crying Game.
Gabriel
it
Byrne was
made
in the
people
Crying Game,
famous
yes.
again.
Maybe wasn't that successful.
Don't talk, Kamar. You can't.
We saw some issues before. We'll see some issues again.
Oh, this is a real tough one. This is really tough.
But I think someone said that this movie made everybody.
Simon said that. I think it made to Benicio del Toro. This was like the first time I really.
I feel like
remember.
Chaz Palminteri was one of the biggest actors in it
Yeah, that's true.
at the time.
I took I don't know. I think I'm going to be way off here.
Okay, I'm ready.
And I've always said we watch a movie, and if there's more than 3 production companies, it's probably gonna be trash. You know, like a movie comes out and it's brought to you by Universal Studios. Boom, it starts. Then there's ones like
Yeah,
Player
three things
Productions,
you've never heard
Chainsaw
of. Yeah.
Things. The
Yeah.
more production
Chainsaw
companies,
Things.
the more production
That's
companies
going to be
gets
our
worse.
production company for sure.
This had 4 production companies.
Okay, I'm ready.
So box my rule.
Well, you can go first because I was closer.
I said it cost 17 million to make,
What's the read you're getting off Kamar
and
there?
it grossed 203.
Okay, you're way off on the gross.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think this was like a cult, like it was more recognized after theaters. I said it cost 24.5 and it made 49.6.
I want to give you the win. It cost $6 million to make.
Whoa.
It doesn't happen anywhere if you think about it.
Whoa, 6 million.
But it did make $51 million in the
Nice,
box
nice,
office.
nice.
And that's close enough for me to call
No,
Matt the
it's
winner.
not
Well,
even
come
close. It's
on.
not.
$2 million
I
off.
praise when praise is
$2
deserved.
million off. That's impressive.
I mean,
That's
good
impressive.
work on the box
That's
office,
impressive.
but
That's crazy. Rum Diaries came out in 1990. No, sorry, it came out in 11. That's what's.
Oh,
that's
he's showing how he cheats. and it
cheats.
still
Yeah,
doesn't
thanks.
work.
Thanks for throwing that in my face.
No, I'm just looking at it now. I wasn't cheating. I'm looking at it now. Like G.I. Jane here. G.I. Jane came out in 1997. It cost $28 million to
She
make.
costs $18 million for her
Yeah,
to
I
be in the
guess,
movie.
yeah.
And it had way more locations. Like,
Yeah, Fargo only cost $12 million to make. Okay.
Usual Suspects doesn't take any place but an office. I
what
mean, of course,
how about this?
the sets.
Tommy Boy came out the same year, $21 million to make.
They drive across the country. You know,
Yeah, but you can drive in the same state.
no, but
and-
in this one, in Usual Suspects, there's a lot of stuff that's just one scene.
yeah, in like
and
a
then you have to
hotel
fill in
room.
The rest
yeah, I
happens.
get it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's another movie game. It's a 2-4. You're fucking welcome. Get some merch, like and subscribe. Join the Patreon. Do you guys ever watch Aussie Rules Football?
No.
I love it. It's on in the morning.
But I do watch a ton of those YouTube dudes. How ridiculous. They're Aussie as fuck. I just watch them drop stuff off.
Oh, I
Stuff.
love the
Oh,
accent.
those guys. TIL. Did you know that polo is a contact sport?
Like horse-to-horse contact.
You can hit
It's
someone
just
with your
it's
stick.
considered a contact sport the same way football is considered a contact
There's
sport.
bumping and jiving and jostling.
I mean, maybe not the same way, but
European football is also a contact sport. Soccer.
really, I thought it was like incidental contact in soccer.
No, as long as you can crush someone as long as you get the ball.
Ball first, yeah, they
Yeah,
don't
right,
exist.
That's right. That's right.
Andrew sort of gave Joe a moment for a COVID I told you so.
In what way?
He wanted to get him to say, you were right about everything and everyone shit on you. And I mean, Joe was humble about it. He could have been a bigger dick, and they got through that.
You know, my only problem, like, listen, Joe was right for most things, sure, fine. But like him saying, you know, I just knew I'd be able to like take care of this thing. Yeah, you're
that's a pretty
fucking rich, man. Like
I thought he
you're
said once he saw Chris Christie.
You are doing I don't care. You are doing things that none of us were able to do. No, we couldn't get monoclonal
Also, hold on.
antibodies. We couldn't get fucking Resdemivir, whatever the fuck he was taking.
You're also forgetting that if this had been a true pandemic, like 30% death rate, that sort of thing, you're playing pretty fast and loose with your. For a guy who's really health conscious, you're playing pretty
that's a
fast and
good
loose
point,
with your own health, right? Like just being like, I'm healthy enough to fight this off. Like what if it had been a truly like.
Well, he was scared at the beginning.
I think
Yeah, I get
everyone was. I think everyone was.
No. I'm just saying, look, I have no problem with that, but let's be realistic about this same thing. Me and Joe Rogan, what is going on?
Mars purse opened up.
Oh, me, like, it's totally different. If we make the same decision,
I agree. Yeah,
he has the ability to fucking fight anything. He could, you know what I mean?
he could fly private to another country and get whatever treatment he wants, whatever he deems
Whatever it
appropriate.
is
Yeah.
he needs, he can get. He sent it to 30 other people. Like, I don't have a friend like that. You know what I mean? I have to hedge my bets the best way I know how.
Well, even with the mask stuff, like it was a weird flex for him to constantly be like, they don't do anything. And it's like, dude, first of all, you've had many doctors on that have explained to you that they do. They have some static protection that like, and even then it's like, again, why don't you just hedge your bet that like
Because he doesn't have to, Matt. That's
I get it.
exactly
But he
what I
got
just
COVID a
said.
bunch of
I
times.
know, but he fights it off because he gets the best treatment
my
possible.
point though was again, if this thing had gone off the rails and
Yeah.
was really bad and had mutated into something terrible, it's too late to get the expensive, you know what I mean? Like,
Fair points, gentlemen. My only point was that I didn't think they talked about COVID that much, but this got flagged.
Yeah,
Of course it
they
did.
they
And
fucked themselves
I
up
think-
the same way we just
I
did.
think we just did, yeah.
listen, I think once you met, it's just an
Which means
algorithm.
it's not over yet. It's sort of weird.
It is odd at this point that there's still like, whoa, there might be COVID disinformation in here. Like,
It's
well, who's that
crazy.
killing?
Yeah,
Like,
this is
what are we doing at
this
this
is
point?
crazy. No, I agree. That's always been crazy.
He
you
gave
know?
him some flowers. Flat feet. I have flat feet, so I always thought that was the only thing good is I never have to fight the army. Boots or flat foot. They were talking about guys running.
So the guy who just said he wanted everybody to enlist is the one guy who isn't going to have to enlist.
How unfortunate.
That's very
but,
interesting.
I will,
It's because of my asthma, guys.
I will make sure to your wife is all right while you're away.
You know why you can't have the mandatory army? Because everybody would claim
Insanity.
a head thing now, you know?
But I mean, if you weren't actually shooting guns at innocent people or fighting over oil and just helping it can be all right.
Nobody likes being told what to do.
But people like telling people what to do.
That's why they'd be the bosses in the army.
No bosses in this army.
Oh, really? This is just a do what you want kind of
You know what?
army?
That's a weird. You just mentioned something very interesting too. Joe surrounds himself with like Rangers, SEALs, Army guys, like, and then he's constantly like, nobody likes being told what to do. Those guys loved that shit.
A lot of his friends, in all fairness, are done in that. So they've been told what to do, and now they're living their best lives.
I understand, but hear me out. You're missing the point. Is those guys were told what to do for a very long time in a regimented way, and they all say it made them a much better person. So my argument is not. My argument is simply that we actually, as humans, in a way, we need some structure. We do need to be told what to do. We need some direction. There's nothing wrong with us saying, I'm not saying I want to be told what to do across the board, but it's, again, it's like laws.
Well, listen, that's why we buy into laws.
This is what I'm
like,
saying.
if enough of us were just like, fuck it, then laws wouldn't exist.
Yeah,
right?
everyone was just tired of someone walking into their house and raping their daughter. So they were like, hey, let's all get together and agree that this is fucking egregious.
And really, I guess, if there was a stupid enough law, I don't know what law that is, but if something was stupid enough, I guess we almost saw it with the vaccines and stuff, because some people thought it was stupid, you know? So, but you would have people who just decided, you know, fuck this one, man. Like, maybe abortion is going to be that thing in the States that people are just like, fuck this, you know, collectively.
Well, it's crazy. There was a story going around last week that was like this wildly egregious story. Well, everyone who read it was like, this can't be real. This seems like one of these
What was it?
internet sensationalized stories about this 10-year-old girl who had to go
saw it, yeah.
Yeah, and they dug deeper and they were like, it actually did happen. It was...
It's crazy.
Well, that was the thing, is everyone that read it was like, this is the internet doing internet things, sensationalized clickbait. And then people dug deep and they were like, fuck, it actually already happened. Like, that's insane.
I mean, I don't really understand that part of it. Like, just in that case, just go to a different state. I don't.
That's what she
understand.
did.
I was talking to a woman about that case. I was trying to say, you know, but if that happened 10 times a year, then it's a real issue. But that's an isolated case. It's horrible, and it has to be dealt with. And she said she had a friend who was raped, got pregnant, kept it, and her son's amazing. So there's that other flip of the coin.
But now they're going against gay marriage. So that
Quickly.
So then you see that, like, everybody who said, hey, hold on, this is something, they're probably
it's almost
right.
like the same way with like people pushing back on the transgender thing. I don't know. Well, there's nothing we can do about it.
No, we live in a different country.
What do you fear more? Cognitive decline or physical decline? Because Andrew got real vulnerable and
Cognitive.
talked about his dad. And I thought that was a sweet, pure moment that he was talking about. But, right?
I fear it all.
My grandfather had Alzheimer's, and when he died, in the last 10 years of his life, I'm talking about like a proud, like came from nothing, built a fucking empire. Like, this dude read the paper front to back every day, could crush it. Like, the most proud man you've ever met. Last 10 years of his life was
Just
like,
fizzled out, and
he just wasn't there. Like, the worst part was that you could tell, for the most part, that like there was still like a flicker in there.
was he
Like
frustrated?
he looked, I'm telling you, he looked miserable.
Why are you looking at me?
Sorry.
He looked miserable. Like I said,
it
it looked like there was a small piece of him still in there that like wanted to.
Well, because what Andrew said was interesting, I thought, which was like, my dad was a guy who was like stressed out all the time. Maybe he's living his best life now, you know? Not having
listen,
to be stressed out all the time.
a part of me thought that too. I mean, this guy wasn't stressed out, but a part of me thought that too. Like maybe it's the best thing. Your mind just shuts down and you go back to your best times. That's in your heart of hearts, that's
Yes,
the best
yes.
thing
But
you
it
could
wasn't.
hope for.
Your grandfather was rich and he was living his best life at the end. So
He was
why?
going to, like,
Sorry,
10
I didn't mean that insultingly.
No, you're
I
right.
mean,
He
like,
was
too
He
late.
should have been enjoying the best years
This
of his
is why
life
I
at
said
that
to you.
point.
This is why I
Yeah.
said to you. He wasn't stressed. He was living a life of luxury,
And
doing
this
whatever
is,
he wanted.
This is why it's such an issue that the average rate of retirement now is like 80 years old, right? By the time you're 80 and you retire, you don't have like 10 years to live your best life. You know, you're just fucking.
You're living your best
go
life
right-
every day of your life, whatever that is.
I mean, maybe, or you're living a life. Like, you know, I don't know, man. The world's weird.
I know, but it's just the perspective game. Like, I'm happy to be alive, or like,
Yeah.
life is so hard. Either way it goes, there's always something worse. But I think physical for me would be worse. Like you said, if it's only me and I'm in a dreamy world, it's really hard for people to be around someone who doesn't remember them. I remember I experienced with my grandmother, and it was harder to watch how it affected her daughter, my mom, not recognizing the kids, just the sadness of it, and you almost want to be removed. But if everything works inside, but I can't move. It's funny because I'm dealing with a guy who just had a stroke 6 months ago, a client, and you can tell he's all there, but he's trying to get his motor skills back.
Yeah, that sucks.
But I think it's better than you're still present. You're just.
But Kamar, though, this is the thing: is again, I think we're coding it with like the best it can be. Like, I'll give you an example. The last coherent conversation I had with my grandfather. I was living in Toronto at the time. We had dinner at my aunt's restaurant. He was reaming me out about money I owed him. Now, keep in mind, he had pretty much financed me moving to New York and going to acting school. So in my heart of hearts, I'm sitting there having this conversation with him, and I'm stressed because at the time I'm broke. I'm living in Toronto. It's expensive. And I'm thinking like, fuck, this guy wants me to pay him back like $40,000 US. Like, and he's been stressing about it. And I'm like, fuck. And I was genuinely bummed. Like, I left that dinner really, like, I almost went home and cried. I was super bummed because he was vicious about it. And I called my aunt, and I was like, I told her, because I had to talk to someone about it. And I called my aunt, and she was like, oh, Matt, like, he's just not there. She was like, she was like, and I told her, I was like, no, the conversation I had was like super lucid. And she's like, yeah, like, then she called me back. She was like, I think he thought you were your dad. Because she's like, I think your dad might have borrowed money off him back in the day.
Which would make way more sense.
No, I can't confirm that because I actually think I brought it up to my dad. My dad got pissed. He was like, I never borrowed money from your grandfather. I don't owe your grandfather anything. But again, I think the Alzheimer's mind, it could have been anything. He could have thought I was any number of people throughout his past that owed him money. But it's just that moment of like thinking he was there. It's still to this day, like, I don't know. I also think that he looked at me like a total failure. So that doesn't help the scenario at all.
He said I walked around my garage when they were talking about Jay Leno. Most garages, you can just open the door and
you're in it. That's it. You've walked around it. Yeah, done.
To walk around a garage, it's got to be of some size.
Yeah,
because he's talking about that car. He's the only person beside me driving it. I'd be interested to see what garage or hangar cement. Joe's talking about.
I related to him there, just. When he was talking about his giant garage full of cars.
You walk around a garage.
Don't we all?
No, it's about 5 steps in most garages, up to 15 if it's a triple.
I mean, my stepdad has,
I don't have a garage.
My stepdad has 2 garages, and in one of them is a cherry red mint condition Mustang 69 convertible.
What is the floor? Just like polished concrete?
No, he's got like a mat in there.
Yeah.
This fucking painter. This sounds like a Ferris Bueller type situation.
Yes, it does.
Cameron.
I do not. It does. I'm not allowed going near it.
It does.
Neither was Cameron.
I don't even have my license.
He is kind of a Cameron, eh?
100%.
You are, dude. This is crazy.
No, he's like
we
a
have to
neurotic
go get
weirdo.
that car. We're gonna get you out of this, man.
Do you know what the license plate says?
If it says Ferris, I'm out.
It says Red 7.
We need to do a
this
photo
is
shoot where
perfect.
you dress up as Cameron in the green
This
t-shirt
is-
pants, and you.
No,
dress
no.
up
He
as
wears
Cameron.
the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah.
Well, he wears that
Well,
as
you
well.
said a green t-shirt.
You're an asshole, Rooney. You're an asshole. He's wearing a green t-shirt.
You're an asshole.
You will be Cameron. You will be Ferris, and I will be Sloan. And it would be
sweet. I can't wait to watch you two make out.
fucking hilarious, man. Or I could be the guy like, don't worry about it. We're professionals. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Big garage. They talked about pollution, private jet. Private jet pollution is one of the craziest things. Like, even the policymakers who are fighting. Like,
People are getting it right now, eh? Like everyone's getting
Always.
accused of.
Always.
No. Right now in time.
this
month.
It's a slow news
Many
cycle.
people have been accused of these 15-minute flights.
Well,
the
if
Kardashian,
you speak out
Drake,
against climate change, you would've got
Kanye.
it.
Sorry.
If you're like an advocate to save the planet, then you should be sort of called out. I don't think it's going to change the behavior, but I'm sure Joe had to quiet down because he takes a private jet or two now.
Well, I saw Schulz on No Jumper.
Yeah,
and I
me
never
too.
even thought about it, but I was like, oh yeah, that would cost Joe a fucking ton of money.
Oh no, Jumper broke it down as what?
Well, Schulz was like, if you think about it, he had to fly. He obviously flew private. It's Joe, and he obviously flew like 6 seals with him. And then he has to put them all in
that's what I wanted
hotels
to
and
say.
feed them.
It was the biggest diss on Schaub of all time.
It really was.
No, it really was, because he did that and then goes to LA for Pazinski's birthday.
Yeah, has dinner.
Which he told Tom there. So even when he does that, he has to bring his security with him.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's not, and didn't do their podcast. Like that is,
Joe.
He's out.
Joe went to the birthday.
Yeah, and then I saw a clip of Joe saying that he's talking about Thick Boy Tiger vodka, whatever,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "This is the worst name ever."
And Schulz,
Thick Boy.
And Schulz didn't do The Fighter and the Kid
Oh, of course not.
on this huge run.
Right? Because
Oh,
it's
so
not good.
crazy.
It's not good publicity
That's
anymore.
the biggest. Like, what is the explanation for that? We can draw our own conclusions.
No, but that should tell you where Schulz goes. Tells you what's cool. You know what I mean?
oh no,
And-
they're. He didn't do Joe Budden either, but no.
Well, he hates Joe Budden.
I know, because of Charlemagne. I was trying comedy.
Well, Joe Budden keeps calling him out.
Do you recall?
They talk about it on
just-
either No Jumper or Logan Paul. or
Just
one
like
of those shows.
Joe Budden called out Joe Rogan to like saying he's bigger than Joe Rogan. He's in
Do you have
he's
too
in his own
much
world.
more there, buddy?
Too much more.
You do have a ton more, don't you?
We can stop at any time and bring it over. But just one thing. Do you recall
Why? Where are we at, Matt?
Don't worry about it.
Do you recall listening to a podcast this week where someone talked about rich guys getting think tanks to figure out how to keep their guards from turning on them?
No.
That's insane.
But you, like, if shit hits, at what point is the loyalty like, well, fuck this guy? Like, if money,
Well, if
ceases
money's
being
not a thing anymore,
then your
they're
guys
gonna take your
and
shit.
each other. And,
Yeah.
Well, no, like if shit hits the fan, all those guys have families. So they're obviously going to go protect their own family. They're not going to stay and protect you.
and they just drop you. But I paid you for 1 more hour.
No, but I mean, if you were smart, let's just say you're taking care of Woody Allen, okay? The second you see shit going off the rail, you take all Woody Allen stuff. How is he going to stop you? He's Woody Allen, you know?
Remember Bill Burr had that joke?
Well, that happened to David Spade.
Bill
That
Burr
was
had
totally different.
Bill Burr had that joke about how he's like, if you're prepping for the apocalypse and you don't have a gun, you're just prepping for the guy down the street who has a gun.
That's right.
No, David
It's
Spade
like you don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than your neighbor.
Yeah.
David Spade his assistant turned on him.
That's right. But it wasn't because the end of the world
No,
was
no,
happening.
fair enough. It's just people are shitty, and he is a poor judge.
Well,
of
that guy
character.
was crazy. Like, he was obviously loony.
art, food expression. They can call art. It's all art. Just creating anything is art, and things to think about and consume. And there's good art and bad art. The church on top of the church is insane.
Well, that's just par for the course, man. Like, it's just
No, but-
another example
no,
of them doing it
It's
even
like
now.
it validates everything you said. Bigfoot's real. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't have to talk anymore. But
Yeah, you don't have to talk anymore,
I
Simon.
won't. I got to
how did you know about that?
About what? The
That there's
church
a
on-
1,000-year-old church on top of
I thought I had heard that
a
before,
church
yeah.
they
a
don't say how old it
million-year-old
is.
church?
That-
Imagine.
that could be on top of another church.
It's
all
a
the
Russian
way
doll of churches.
just back to the dinosaurs.
My big state of the art. We've said that before. That what is our art? It sort of like shows you where we are in state of the art. I think that's cool.
State of the
We
art.
look at state of art as
Yes,
weapons
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
state
yeah,
of the
yeah.
art.
I never even realized
We don't look at it
what
as weapons,
that
anything.
term meant, Kamar.
That's a state-of-the-art television. That's a state-of-the-art camera.
It's all
Either way, it
technology
means
sort of
state
related.
of the art.
State
I
of
never
the
even
art.
put it
Art
together.
is-
It's like
It's
triangle.
like triangle. I was
Was
just
art
gonna
is-
say that for you.
just, yeah,
That's
there's
what
another
Kamar's
one.
trying to say.
He didn't show the photo of Joe on his 1-pixel camera, the prostitute with one tit out and the meatball sandwich. He's got to be able to blur that. Like it's.
Why can't they show that?
Thank you. And Jamie can't show it. That's the problem.
Maybe Jamie just doesn't want to do the extra work.
Whatever. We forgot to mention, too, Levi was recorded July 5th. So Joe went on like a long vacay.
A long vacay. And this one was up to date. He came back to do this for Schulz because he was running out of time. This is what I was saying, because he only made it 2 weeks to sell his special. And he had been away forever. He was
did the
recording
first run
ones
for the first week of special.
behind.
Now he did the Rogan for the last week of special.
There you go.
Genius. It's great. Working the algorithm.
He is genius.
The way they said the Italians just took all the food from the Greeks. Like cultural appropriation is...
Pizza's Greek.
It's the way it goes.
But sorry, hold on a second, Kamar. He didn't do that because of that. Joe was away. He's been gone.
Oh.
And he must have come home for Schulz. That's what I'm thinking.
No, I think they planned it. Like Schulz was like, when are you back? Joe said this date. And he said, is it cool if I come on? Or Joe was like, I'm coming back this date. Do you want to do it on?
Maybe.
I don't think he cut his vacation short for Andrew.
Maybe.
The best excuse is you nut quick because of survival. There could be a jaguar coming.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I want to prolong it.
It totally makes sense.
Like life is on the line.
Next time I come quickly, I'm going to say that.
It
I
totally
saw a
makes
Jaguar
Just
outside
trying
the
to
window.
save the world, babe. Just
I was
trying to save
taking
the
care
world.
of you. I was looking out for you.
Yeah. Little does she know I'd trip her.
It actually
She'd be the
proves how much you love your girl.
one. Yeah. Coming quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're trying to get done so you can save her from a rapist or something.
I think we can wrap it up there. Jamie Foxx, funny, dramatic it doesn't go the other way. There hasn't been many people.
Steve Carell.
What was he dramatic in? Oh yeah, no, he's funny, dramatic. He was funny and went dramatic.
Nobody goes dramatic to funny. It happens. Some people can pull it off.
Say who it is.
Okay, I'm going to. Hold on a second.
Because we have Woody Harrelson, Chris Pratt, Jamie Foxx, Will Smith to a degree.
Yeah. Will Smith. What are you talking about? For sure.
He was a joke rapper and comedian. Did Martin Lawrence ever do anything? I don't think.
Not
Eddie
anything
Murphy.
serious, no.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, you know who's the example?
He's
I'll give you that as a
he's
Thor.
comedy.
Thor is dramatic to funny.
Yeah, he's
So there,
good.
fuck you.
Ryan Gosling. No,
Mark Wahlberg.
Know what?
yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
I'm saying Ryan Gosling as well.
Ryan Gosling, dramatic to funny.
Yeah.
Has Leonardo DiCaprio ever done funny?
Wolf of Wall Street was funny.
He was in like Pulp Fiction, or
So-
not,
but
what's
he's
it
more-
called
he's
there?
more
where-
Leo
dramatic
was not
and
in Pulp
funny.
Fiction.
No, not Pulp
Django.
Fiction. I meant, well, and the other one, wasn't he in?
Django's not really funny.
He's just in Django. No, he was in, he's very funny in the newest one.
Oh, Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Ben Stiller, I think, is almost good too.
Ben Stiller was comedy to drama, not drama to comedy.
I think his first movie was Reality Bites, and he played the dickhead boyfriend of Winona Ryder.
He's a comedian.
That was still like a 90s like grunge comedy though, wasn't it?
No, but he's a
He played
comedy.
the straight man in
He's
it,
a
though.
comedy.
Well, his
guy.
parents
Look
were
who
a
his dad
his,
is.
his
Of course,
parents
of
were a
course, of
comedy
course,
duo.
but-
Yeah, he's comedy. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to fight with you guys.
Well, you want me to pull up, and we'll see. His,
Joe is a lefty for sure. It's like whatever he says. I don't believe he's like leaning into these things. Like say, who's our favorite reporter with the toque? The list goes on,
Tim
right?
Pool.
We know we've talked about. It seems like I'm just lefty, but everything seems to be righty. Joe is a lefty, and then
what were we talking about?
I don't know. You were gonna pull something
Wrap
up.
Yeah,
it up.
what? What was I pulling up?
Dramatic to
dramatic
funny.
to funny.
No, that's not.
Oh, you see, you're the worst, Jamie.
The
ever.
JFK speech is crazy
No, it
because
was a movie. It's Ben Stiller. Thank you. Go ahead.
Ben Stiller.
The JFK
The
speech.
JFK speech because we heard that 20 years ago.
Which one?
Secret societies.
Yeah.
From the cloud. And he said, an error doesn't become a mistake until there's no action to correct it. That was one of the important things I felt he said in that. And it's just so, he said all those things and then they shot him
Yeah.
and they covered it up. So anything's possible. Use your imagination. But yeah, I love Schulz. Loved him the first time. The biggest thing I've always said is I remember even 4 years before his first time on Rogan, he was on The Guys We Fucked.
Yeah.
You know that podcast?
Yeah.
Two girls, they went behind the paywall, whatever. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything. And they were so much bigger than him.
Mm-hmm.
They had such a bigger platform. And he was like appreciative to be getting on and was talking about all these things he had planned. And he's done it all. And I mean, those girls are still where they're at. And
Yeah,
it
he's
just
a
goes
hustler.
to show.
Dude's a hustler.
Yeah, 100%.
Big time. Good for him
100%.
too. And
You
he
know-
made it. And listen, he made a fan out of me. I didn't like him when it was when he was on the Brilliant Idiots. I just found him like I don't know.
I'm with you. He made a fan out of me too, but mostly he's just undeniable. He's undeniably funny,
Yeah.
and the things he said, Netflix is dead, blah 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 blah. It all like he stood behind it all until going back to Netflix, but that's a whole other story.
Just put an
But
asterisk there.
I still gotta say though, the Netflix is dead thing, like it's not. Netflix opened the door for Disney, who is gonna crush Netflix, but it's still they created the streaming it's like Napster. You know what I mean? There is no Spotify paying Joe.
Well,
I don't
YouTube
think
is
he
a
meant.
bigger platform
I don't
than
think
all
he
of them.
meant
Of course.
Netflix. I think that's what he meant. YouTube is where it's at. You know what I mean? In the end,
At the
we're
end
all
of the
gonna
day.
give this away for free, and it's gonna be direct to consumer. And
Well, that's amazing on his part. So he bought a special back, made 3.5 million or whatever it is on it, and now he has that special that he can clip out for another year. That is going to get certain viral videos. Are going to make whatever on the YouTube. Yeah, it's great, man.
No, he really is. He's a great businessman.
He's the model.
really funny.
And-
he
and-
seems like a genuinely good guy who takes care of his friends. You know what I mean?
And giving out enough flowers.
Yeah.
Like he's not like I just did this myself and no one believed in me. Like lots of help, lots of people.
No, and
lots of
look, you know he's a good guy because Akash, is that his name?
Yeah.
He doesn't really belong on that show. Do you know what I
But it's his
mean?
boy and he puts him in there.
And he brings him in, and everybody else is like doing drugs all the time and fucking blah blah blah. And he's just like,
A rising tide.
anyways, he seems like he's not that he's not a great guy. It just I don't know, man. I think Schulz takes care of his boys. That's my point.
You know why I know he's a good guy? Because the last part of the no jumper clip I saw, he was like, listen, I'm never going to say anything bad about Joe. That dude's always been good to me. He's always hooked me up. He's always helped me out. Stand-up guy, great guy. But still has like, I don't know, like goes on Joe and calls him on his shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll be like, come on, dude, really? That's what you believe about Elon? Like,
He
really?
didn't. He didn't call him enough for my likings.
Eh,
Like it's one thing to be like, but then Joe got the last word, and it was a shitty last word. You know what I
Either way,
mean?
you think that Joe came home from vacation for him, so he's not going to call him on everything.
That's true. I don't. Yeah,
there is an etiquette in a way.
you're right. He owes him.
Despite being comedy and saying whatever you want and being out there, there's a way to act and a way to behave. I thought the one interesting Joe said that Joey Diaz wasn't funny.
Well, no, he said he wasn't a good comedian. He said he was
Yeah,
always
he's
very
figuring it
funny.
out.
That's different.
Yeah. So that's what I meant.
But really, the problem is like where.
But you know
and,
what? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, please.
No, please.
No, I insist.
Where Andrew Schulz is right now, you could really go one of two directions. You know what I mean? You're either gonna like be right, or you're gonna like lose yourself because he's about to become like really famous.
I think he's
you
going to
know?
have kids and it's going to save the day and
You're
prioritize his hunger or
probably
whatever
right.
because he does want that.
Yeah, he
Shoot pool with
seems-
them.
But anyways, yeah.
Now, there's a lot I skipped. Obviously, this is just a great podcast, but
I mean, I didn't love the podcast. I like Andrew, but I just found this was so much of the same.
Yeah, we missed a lot of stuff though, I feel like.
It was all so much of the same.
But for me now, it's the catch up of like if it would be Joe and Andrew Schulz talk about all these things. Joe and Tim Dillon talk about all these things. Like they're the new catch up guys. It used all these ones would have been Brian Callen, Levi. They're all he used to be on all the time, and I will always want to see what their hot takes together are on certain things. Even though I know most of them from listening to Schulz.
Joe actually laughs at Schulz's jokes, which is refreshing too.
Still
you
misses
know?
coming. It's hailing.
it's piss boring out there, yeah.
God, I gotta piss.
I was wondering. I was like, what's that sound? All right, so what do you rate it then, Simon, before you go and piss?
I give this one a 3.75.
Holy
4.
shit.
It was
Okay,
good. Yeah.
Get out of here. Go piss.
I give it a 4.
I give it a 2.5.
Yeah, you know that's going to happen. Oh, you can't
Again,
go-
I like Andrew.
I gotta stay
Can't
till
go.
the end.
Oh, no, go ahead on professionalism. Do it.
No,
I don't care.
I'm-
No,
We'll
Simon,
stretch it
I
out.
don't
We'll
care
stretch
today.
it
If you
out.
have to
We'll stretch
piss,
it
go
out.
do
We'll
your
stretch
thing.
it out. We'll
No,
stretch
we're
it
not going
out.
to stretch anything
We
out.
have
I'll
to
say
stretch it out.
I'll say keep your
We'll
eyes
have
open.
to-
It's
oh,
fine.
well, there.
That's a show. That's it. If you made it this far, you're the real champion. We love
Is it? How long is this one?
2.5 hours. I just whatever. Even if you listen to an hour, you're still a fucking champ. We love you. Sometimes you don't make it through a podcast. Sometimes we're not. Sometimes we don't knock it out of the park. That's life.
Do you mean the criticism we had about the Brian Redband episode?
What was the? I don't read. I'm honestly, Kamar, Even when I upload something to YouTube, I avoid the comments. When I say I'm not reading anything anymore, I'm dead fucking serious.
Yeah, that's fair. But
I eat so much shit and I do all the work. It's not fun for me.
That's fair enough. Someone just wrote that they felt we cut short the Brian Redband episode for advertising, and I don't even remember when we did it, like it was before or after. But
Well, I remember saying like we were gonna give it a short amount of time. Because,
okay, there it is. So
But
yeah,
I also-
it wasn't for the money, if that was a person thinks. And we've done Brian so many times, I find it
Yeah, I don't think it was because of the ad. Listen,
repetitive. Even though we all said that was the best one he's been on, we just didn't give it that much time.
and for the record, only one time from the ad company have I heard anything about where the ad was placed. They want it somewhere in the middle, close to 60% in. We try to do that, but like for the most part, I just don't want this thing to be a 4-hour
Because
podcast.
we need our energy for the post show.
No, it's not just that. It's just
Well, I
most
do.
people, like, I don't know, most people I don't think want a 4-hour podcast. For me, I think jump in. We're still doing this.
I did it, buddy.
For me, I feel like, 2.5, 3 hours, that's like the nice.
That's the money
So
spot.
I try to, I don't know. I apologize if they thought Brian Redband was short. Like I said, I really thought that we had just done him so many times, even though sometimes an episode just doesn't have a lot to talk about.
I just wonder what people would do if we popped out an hour episode.
I mean, well, that's what was about to happen this week.
It would have been, and then it would have been
I knew in my heart of hearts, I was like, there's something coming down on Saturday for sure. And
late drop. The first time for some reason, I wasn't annoyed because there was only one in the week.
Not only did I know something was coming, Matt, I knew what was coming.
yeah,
And
of course.
who?
Yeah, I again, if you were pissed about that Brian Redband, I apologize. I guess that's on me.
Wasn't for the money. That's all I'm telling the person.
I'll try to do better. It's not even like an amount of money that's like worth ruining an episode for, if I'm totally honest. So I apologize. Sometimes I don't want these things to be super long, and yeah. Anyway, if you listen this far, thank you. If you cut out an hour in, you're not hearing this, go fuck yourself. No, I'm kidding. That's an episode. We do appreciate you listening. There is new merch. I'll say it again. We got Diablo Avocado hoodies, Champion t-shirts. It's only in North America right now, but maybe by the time you're listening to this, I will have gotten around to doing the Europe and Australia. So go look for that. Simon, worldwide, prestige, worldwide. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, I will have uploaded the rest of the world again. We got some nice Diablo Avocado stuff. Simon also designed some 3 Wolves design that's pretty cool. And there's some other new designs coming down the pike. So if you want some JREE merch, head over there. It's wearenotjoerogan.com. Buy yourself some stuff. We also have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/JREE podcast. If you want to support the show, it's $5 a month. That's all it'll cost you. US 5 greenbacks. And for that, you'll get the post show, the show of show we shoot the shit, and you'll get throwbacks where we go back, listen to old episodes, and do the same boring ass bullshit we do here. That's it. There's a YouTube too if you want to watch the show, but why would you do that? Who cares?
Like and subscribe.
No, please don't do either of those, and don't comment because, like I just said, I'm not reading it. Kamar clearly reads them though, so maybe
Obviously.
if you want to talk to Kamar, that's a good place to
YouTube
do
is
it.
for children.
You come to me.
I guess there's a Reddit too, but I don't care about that. I'm off that too. Shoutouts to RV if he's still running it. You're a real champ.
He's still running. It's amazing. Our VU me, we're boys.
Shout out to Tyler as well.
Rude
It
boys.
said we're boys.
Okay.
Oh.
Shout out to Tyler Duvall as well for the fucking movie jingle. Shout
You're
out to
gonna be
everyone.
famous, kid.
Ghetto Socks for the intro. That's it. That's a show. Thank you so much. We hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. If you're on the Patreon, stick around for the post show. And as usual,
I never miss a week. Keep your eyes open.